Hello. So I am starting out today with some vital training and kettlebells. So this is a 20 kilogram kettlebell, and basically you load up with vital energy, and I've just started exploring with taking this thing for a walk, and it's actually quite a lot of fun. So starting out with just farmers walks, just to warm up here. And I've been using either the kettlebell by the side or in a rack position up by the chest or overhead. So the idea here is to stay tuned in to the energy you want to work with and to really tune into how that alters the fascia and allowing that to support the weight and inflate the body. The goal is to increase the energy, work the energy. So if I feel that the inflation of the body, of the tissue is waning, then that's an indication to stop and take a little break. Also, the goal isn't to exhaust the muscles, not to find not to develop a burn, but to stay within the energy. So, look at the sun's coming up. Nice. Alright, there's a trail here. So I think this is the one off the main road that I'll take. And just gonna switch arms here. So this trail, at least from what I saw on the map, it might be the next one. Oh no, I'm gonna take the next one. Don't really feel like walking over a gas pipeline. One thing to keep in mind with this type of activity is that you do have to get back to your vehicle / home. That's gonna be interesting as the hike goes on. This trail I'm coming up to here is supposed to be, it's about 1 kilometer to the next cutoff. So I'll probably walk that a couple times and continue to play with these 3 carries. So anyway, I need to concentrate here. I'll tune back in shortly. Alrighty, moving to the rack position here. Now with this, keeping the fingers open helps stimulate the connective tissue more, so it'll help connect things up more. It can actually also be more tiring in a sense as well. So this can be easier when we let the fingers relax in, but keeping it open will help stimulate more, so I want to do that. Now, you'll notice my elbows not on the body, so I'm not resting the weight into the body, leaning back and such. It's off. Now I have the kettlebell resting a little on my shoulder. I want to work this towards being off the body entirely, and that'll cause, as soon as I do that, the chest needs to open so that the shoulder can be supported, so that the weight can be held. And I'm finding talking while doing this is a hell of a lot more tiring than not talking while doing this. So I just found a giant tree on the trail here. So I'm going to use this as an opportunity to do some Qi Gong. And that was a close call. There's a wasp nest on the ground near the base of that tree, so we will not be doing Qi Gong with that tree today. At least not from that close. Alrighty, I'm gonna keep moving down the road here. And we switched arms at this point, still in the rack position. Important to look at any points where you feel like there's a fold occurring, and we want to breathe vital energy through those places, release through those places, and have those folds be inflated out. The same as if you fill up one of those long string balloons that you use to make, giraffes and whatnot. If it can fold easily, if you imagine it's made of like really intense rubber, if it can fold and bend easily, then it's not full of substance. Once it's full of substance, it becomes inflated. Bop! It pops open. I'm doubling this up, also checking out this new road for places to park up. I'm home for a couple days, so we'll see. It looks pretty good at the moment. Okay, I'm getting sufficiently not fatigue tired, but I'm starting to feel the muscles burn a little bit, and I'm starting to feel like I can't get the inflation and support that I want. So I'm going to use this opportunity to just practice and tune into the energy again. And I notice immediately the energy comes rushing in much, much stronger. And I'll continue this until I feel quite inflated. Lots of pressure is built up that can support the weight. I'm also tuning in to any constrictions that I feel, any of the wrappings around all the muscles, muscle spindles and fibers and all that kind of stuff. Tuning into all that and dissolving those contracted cylindrical type squeezes into the energy. I do this until the body disappears. And starting to get juiced back up here. The breath has begun to stabilize more. And so I'll flip the camera off for this, but I'll probably hang out here for another 10 minutes, just tuning in, playing with some Hermetic alchemy, Kabbalistic alchemy, evocational type stuff as well, and just let the energy build up, let things rejuvenate and restructure, and I'll pick up the weight and continue on. All right, so with this kind of stuff, I also employ many different harmonies or organizational type functions that I release into for the energy to organize the body within. And because we're working with contralateral weight, or one side is taking the weight, how it's harmonized becomes important. So there's many different ones out there to play with and use. I find that I switch quite often, even within the same set of an exercise, just based off what's needed. Because sometimes, using just like the lower dantian or whatever, it doesn't quite cut it, and there has to be more specific unification or organizational patterns. Whew, sun is out, and I'm regretting the sweater and the toque I carried with me. So we're nearing the 1 kilometer mark here, You'll see up the road there, and things branch off a fair bit smaller. So in terms of bringing my home around here, this is probably as far as I will take it by the looks of it. So one marker you're doing this well is when the perception of the weight disappears. And this takes a little more focus than I have built up in terms of doing it while chatting to the camera here. Okay, so we have a fork in the road, and as they say, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. That looks more interesting. One thing to keep in mind while being out here is that being outdoors, you have a big expansive space. There's all this life around, there's all these nature sounds around. I'm in British Columbia, Canada, and there's bears and cougars around. So you got to keep an ear out for this kind of stuff as well. While you're, that's the sun up here, more shade. So the mind's out, it's expansive. I'm not getting stuck into the perception of my mind rebelling against the activity of the weight, against the resistance. If I were in a gym setting, it's really unlikely that I would carry a kettlebell around for 3 to 4 kilometers worth of walking, right? So it's something we want to keep in mind, at least for me, is the benefits of being outdoors, because you get this big open mental space, the mind's bouncing around, and by mind I don't mean the thoughts, break from that hand, I don't mean the thoughts with the mind, I mean the space that the mind is occupying, so it can shoot over to a tree or a bush. It can expand out beyond me, is the main point of this little rambling. Now I'm finding as I go through this exercise this morning, my shoulders are starting to sit better, and the body's starting to fill more easily. Things feel more connected, and things are warming up. All right. So we got a nice old clear cut here, not too old, and this road has seen better days. Alrighty, so this is the point that I wanted to get to physically here, and I'm just turning back to go to back home now, and I wanted to get to a point where I was feeling actual fatigue. And then one thing you can start to explore is releasing the tension of fatigue. There's a constriction that occurs, the relationship that the mind instills on the body when it perceives fatigue. Now, a big mistake I made, over a decade ago now, maybe around a decade ago, was releasing the tension of fatigue, but just releasing it, not into anything. And so what I'm exploring and enjoying here is releasing that tension of fatigue into the energy, right? In this case, vital energy. And I'm also running some light from the sun sphere as well through this. So, watch the rocks. So that makes a big difference, and it's so often missed out. What are you releasing into? And when we release, we're unifying. So what are you unifying with? in this case, because there's a strong element of vital energy, when I release the tension of fatigue, those spaces become filled with vital energy. Those constraints expand and dissolve into the energy, and there's a very cool bubbling up of this energy, like a frothing. The energy, it froths out of nothing, and that's the perception of it. So I'll run this through each of the chakra bases, the 7 chakra bases, a la most yoga systems, but from the perspective of the body and the hormones, not through the akasha of those areas, but through the vital aspect of them. And this will start to, I'll feel it quite immediately, start to stimulate the hormones. All right, switching arms. I've got to focus on practice now. Oh, okie dokie. So, another element of this, by using a weight that's not too heavy for me, it's still, work, but it's not crazy. Well, one, I can actually talk to the camera a little bit. 2, I can focus very clearly on the energy. And 3, because I'm moving and walking, and the ground is obviously uneven, there's hills, ups, downs, etc. This starts to act like a massage through the body. So there's all this tissue that it would not be worked the same way if I was, say, doing a static overhead press or doing kettlebell swings. Stuff wouldn't be worked the same way. So the moving is very interesting. Holding the weight statically, in quotations, while moving the rest of the body. And it's quite fun. I enjoy it. And the color of these greens is quite rejuvenating. It's quite lush and it's beautiful. So I'm enjoying this practice quite a bit. And back to focus here. Alrighty, so I'm starting to get some nice activation through the hormonal centers now. A nice buzz and enlivenment activation and fullness. So instead of feeling emptied, I'm starting to feel more full and invigorated. Which is nice. It's fun. Even though there is some fatigue in the tissues and whatnot, the overall experience is full and invigorated. Okay, so it's very useful for me, and I'll likely spend, when I get back home, a chunk of time continuing to tune in to this frothing up of the vital energy out of the ether, more or less, and tune into that, and I'll start packing it and condensing it through from the emptiness through the center of the bones and out through the field. And I'll run that under the guidance of a being of the sun sphere who is phenomenal with aiding in the materialization of very high light in the vital worlds. So, keep moving here, and the the muscles, the tissue are definitely starting to get tired. I've probably got another kilometer or so left. So I need to hop back to it and focus here. Alrighty, so the vital energy, the strength of the body, is often undervalued when folks are getting into spiritual type stuff. So if you're going to be doing a lot of meditation, working with high-end energies, or any end of energy really, oh, alright, body's feeling it. One thing that you cannot neglect is the impact that strong vitality will have on the energy work. As I'm getting tired, I'm sure you notice I can't hold each position nearly as long. If you're holding down here, there's the muscles of the, I forget what it's called. Basically, it moves the big knuckles in. And so if I just let this hang like this, it starts to dislocate my wrist. If I wrap in with those big knuckles a little bit more, then it magnetizes the weight in better. And it strengthens the wrist, hooking those knuckles in through the elbow. Strengthens the wrist as opposed to pulling all that tissue apart. But I digress. The importance of vital training, it enhances all your other energy work that you do and all your meditative work. If you have the energy to if you just have the vital energy, one thing is that suddenly you can sit for much longer, you can stand for much longer, you can tune in to the energies you want to work with much more life and stability. So it really helps you stabilize on your meditation object to have energy. And if you're doing any type of energy work, having energy, very useful. So you can develop energy in different ways. You could do, no weighted work and just keep building the energy, and letting the fascia keep tuning under that and generating energy, consolidating it and collecting energy, more of a Taoist method, right? Collecting energy, storing energy within the body. So I find the weights very useful for generating a lot of energy. And that as you tune into that from the meditative perspective, what you can work with that weight, what you can tune into and what you can draw, and how you can use the skill of the weight with the vital energy, it extends to all other activity you're going to do and practices. So if you can load, let's say here I have about 45 pounds that I'm getting used to walking around with, so this is sort of strength endurance type training, then I can over the course of a 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour class, if I'm teaching, I can be transmitting energy with a decent amount of strength for a decent length of time. Obviously, if I could carry around a leg press machine with 700 kilos worth of weight, I'd do that too. But in the absence of that, this is a hell of a lot of fun. All right, so I don't think I'm too far out here, and I'm just doing a organ check, so filling up for myself towards the spleen, making sure the kidneys aren't depleted, and really enjoying this new 10-point harmony system I've been working with. And once I get a little more comfortable with it and things balance out with it more, I will add in the final 4 for that basic 14-point system I want to explore, and keep evolving it from there. Okay, not too far now. Here's that gas pipeline from earlier. All right. All right, I'm back home, and actually some nice big trees nearby, so I'll touch into those later. Oh, okay, that's good timing because I can hardly hold that anymore. So, words. The actual like muscles are quite tired. I can hardly hold on to this at this point, but the vitality, the perception of fatigue or not, feeling depleted, I don't have that right now. I do not feel depleted, and this is the most important thing for me when I'm working out, is I don't want to bring myself into a point of real energetic depletion, unless that's what I'm aiming for specifically. The purpose of this was to develop and build vital energy, and I'm feeling a crazy strong amount of that right now. Even though the body's tired, the energy is quite strong. So with this, it's very useful and exciting for me if you're someone who's dealt with a lot of energetic issues, if you've had issues with vitality or with your health, that kind of stuff. You know that feeling depleted is not useful, it's not fun. So it doesn't help to exhaust yourself when you're in a state like that. So what I've been playing with is just bumping up the vitality, bumping up that vital energy, bumping it up, and continuing this exploration in that way for the physical side of the practices. Now, also for fun, once the vitals built up and the body can sustain this as well, I'll play through the vibrational scale. But also, if you want to, don't try this. If you want to wreck yourself, do it in Akasha. Dissolve yourself into Akasha and do it, along with dissolving the weight into Akasha. And it's like, it's just murder on the mitochondria. The exhaustion is unreal. So that's like, something that I'll work towards as well in the future, as the body keeps building and getting stronger. All right, I'm gonna continue on with the practice here. Set up my little altar that I got in the van. It's got to be easy to take apart and put back together. So I'm gonna set that up and start my day with the higher end energies of the practice here. All right, hope you enjoyed this long-winded and naturey workout walk. All right, have fun, practice, bye.